Welcome, I'm Darren, and I'll be your guide today as I rank the worst baseball rookie card designs of 1995. I pulled aside 13 cards that I felt were right to talk about for the rankings, and that means that I have 6 and 6 and a +1. I decided to shift the +1 over here to the worst of list because I think it probably better deserves to be over here, and I think that you guys definitely feel that it should be on this list. So that's where I'm putting it, which means I have a list of the 5 worst, and then I have 2 honorable mentions. And that first honorable mention, the one that could go either way, is score. And score, this is a great example of why I have a tough time with putting baseball, by choosing the rookie card designs for baseball, because baseball it's all over the map for rookies. Is it a prospect, a rookie, a draft pick? What is it? And so, where in football, the players were in their college uniforms because, well, they were draft pick rookies. In baseball, are they just coming up out of the minors, or did they just have their rookie season? I don't know. But on the plus side, they're all in their regular MLB uniforms, which means the cards look more cohesive. They look more professional. And that certainly helps give the card a feeling that, as a collector, I like to look at. But the big thing about the difference between the football design and the baseball design is that whole brushstroke theme on the card works better with the baseball images. Partly because the football images are too bold. I mean, when you look at one of the football cards, the player's taking up the space for the most part. He's right there, which is a scale issue when you go over to the brushstrokes. Whereas if you look over the baseball card, the players don't tend to take up as much of the space, so there's a lot more intricacy going on, and the scale is a lot better between the image and the brushstrokes. But also in baseball, I think there's kind of a knot hole in the fence type of a quality to how it looks that just feels right for baseball. I don't know if it's the wood grain of the bat or what it is, but there's something about this design that just feels better with baseball, allowing for the cleanliness of the card manufacturing to really read through a lot better. So this is a card that I look at it and I go, okay, all right, I'm good with that. That's kind of my response to it, and on an individual basis, it's actually not too bad. My other honorable mention is, well, this goes back to what I talked about about the difference between baseball and football, because in football, I didn't talk about Zenith. And the reason I didn't talk about Zenith is that they're not rookie cards. They're cards looking back at the rookies of the previous season. When I go over to baseball, I think that's exactly the same case, but I don't really know. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? I'm just going to talk about them because they are actually kind of cool designs. Now, they're not a wonderful success. The problem with this card is that it has this almost a mirrored surface type of an approach, which is a bit much. But I have to say that the way that the Zenith cards pull it off for the rookies, it actually kind of works. You have the black band on the side with the text that says rookies that has that nice bronze burnish to it that actually looks pretty good. So you got that going on, and then the background behind the player isn't all that bad, although I don't like the echo of the player. That is the one thing on the card that I wish they had changed. But I'm talking about this card on an individual basis and not with any other cards. Because when you add other cards and you put a couple of cards next to each other, those borders overpower the cards, and it gives the cards an off-balance feeling. And it doesn't feel like, it feels like it's not well balanced. So, but the bigger issue is that when you put it in the set, you have all the Zenith cards, and all of a sudden you hit these, they don't do anything with the rest of the set. So this is a card you have to look at on an individual basis, and if you do, it actually isn't that bad. It's not at all great. It's also really not rookie cards per se, but overall, I think that of all the cards on this list, this is actually one that actually holds up because these are the 2 that are outside of the top 5. The top 5, I think, are, I don't like any of them. But I almost give half credit to my number 5 choice, which is Collector's Choice. Now, Collector's Choice has 2 cards. It has the future franchise futures, or future franchise. I think it's future franchise. And this is a card that takes the pop art quality of the mid-90s and does really well with it. When I look at this card, I go, actually, I like that. I don't love it, but I like it. For what it's trying to do, I think it succeeds extremely well. But these aren't really rookies because there are other cards where rookie is literally pasted right on it. This card is obviously the rookie, and it's not nearly as successful because you got that big raspberry background. And okay, look, I'm just going to say it. My favorite fruit is raspberries. Love raspberry. Raspberry sherbet is awesome. Raspberry sherbet for the background behind a player is not at all awesome. It's way, way, way too overpowering. It's supposed to do that, and that's kind of the problem, is that this isn't really designed to follow in the model of the other cards I showed you. This is a card that's supposed to appeal to the youngest collector. The colors down at the bottom are also obnoxious, but at least they bring it all together and it feels like a cohesive design. But to me, if you're going to make a bold card, this is not the way to do it. And so as much as I love raspberry sherbet, this card just doesn't cut it for me. So unfortunately, this is definitely one of the 5 worst. The number 4 option for me is Select Certified. And Select Certified is a card I've never, ever understood. And the problem with it is that it's supposed to be the high-end card of 1995. I mean, it is literally supposed to be the gold standard for the set. And in terms of the parallel, it actually is trying to do that quite literally. But the design is a mirrored background of a black and white background. How anybody came up with this idea, or how somebody looked at that idea and said, that is going to be the flagship of our brand and the leader for the whole hobby, I don't get it. I've never understood what the appeal is of these cards. These are checklist cards. These are cards you get out of the way. But I give half credit to the rookies because they have half a card and half a card. They have gold on one side, silver on the other, and they look different. And the fact that they look different helps the card. Doesn't save it at all, but it helps the card. It gives it some interest, which the rest of the card set is missing. I mean, I love the copper foil. That detailing on the card I think is a strength, but it's a strength that is a strength on its own. It doesn't work with the cards. So the whole card itself overall is just, I don't understand the design concept. I understand coming up with the idea to pursue, but once you made one of these, you should have gone, yeah, we'll try something else. That's the problem with the cards. But boy, now we're moving into some rarefied air, because now we're moving to number 3 with Sportflick's UC3. And now we're just getting into a frustratingly annoying card. Now UC3, I give so much credit for actually effecting a really good 3D effect on the card. This was something that was new to Sportflick's, and it was about time they did it, because dude, Kellogg's was doing that in the 70s. They finally got to it here in 1995. I'm so glad they did. Well, they did a little bit in 1994, but 95 is where we really got to see it. And what they did with it was a jumbled mess. They got a bunch of things floating around that are just kind of there. They don't really do anything except overpower the card to the point where you don't see the player. It's a rookie card. It's supposed to showcase the rookie card, and you can't even see. He's Where's Waldo in this card. You put a couple of them together, they all run together. You don't see any of the players. That's unfortunately the problem with this card. It has some cool pieces that if they took a little bit of time and made something interesting, I mean, they could have done like a 3D temple and it would have looked great. Instead, they did this and it does not look great. Instead, it looks like it's trying to be something that is in no way a baseball card, and there's a baseball player who happens to be on it. Not a good way to operate. So yeah, it's, they should have worked a little bit harder on the design part, or on the art side of this card. They didn't, so here it is at number 3. But at number 2, I've got Select. And Select is literally the exact opposite. Full bleed image. Great. Good. I'm okay with the full bleed image. I really like a full bleed image. Oh, but it's got that big gold foil. I don't even want to say a stamp. it's a box at the bottom. It's huge. It's enormous. You can barely even see the detail work inside to understand what the intricacy is going to be. And that's the big problem with the card, is that it's not small and accenting. It's big and overpowering. It doesn't work with the image, doesn't work with the card. It seems like it's trying to be bigger than the card, more important. Almost like it's a band that's wrapped around a bunch of cards to hold them together, and this happens to be the card on the end. It's just the scale of all that gold foil is too much. And then you add the finial on top, which doesn't work with the image, but it also doesn't work with the gold foil. It's just kind of there. And that's the problem with these cards. I look at it and I go, there's something missing. When they were striking this card, something didn't hit on the card. Wait, even the parallels that way? Okay. So if even the parallels that way, this is a card that's just a lost cause. That's the problem with these cards, is that it feels like they didn't do anything. They just slapped something on there and called it good. And yeah, let's just say it didn't succeed. But number one, to me, can only be one thing. And so we're getting away from Pinnacle finally and going to, okay, it's Sportflix. So we're staying with Pinnacle. And that's unfortunate, because this Sportflix card brings it to a grand total of 7 cards on this list. 6 of them are Pinnacle. Only one by Upper Deck is different. Sportflix, I mean, I like the amount of motion they have on the background. I think that, and it's actually continuous. They absolutely nailed that component of the card. And the red and the blue, or the red and the green, I think are good and strong, except they have the yellow in between that kind of jaundices it and ruins the potential for the background to have some sort of a strength. But here's the big problem with this card. The big problem with the card is that it feels like it's undesigned. Not underdesigned, undesigned. It feels like there are things that are supposed to be on it that they never even bothered to get around to. This card doesn't even look like a pro card. It looks to me like not a college card, but one of those card sets that fits in with that. If this card said scoreboard on it and there were no logos, I would go, oh, okay, now it makes sense. But the fact is, it does have pro uniforms on it, and why it has those pro logos doesn't make sense to me, because it needs to be a cheap card trying to the manufacturer's trying to just kind of sweep under the rug and get you to buy anything. It has that feeling. It needs something. What? I don't know. I really don't know. It's probably that the background, well, it's mainly the background is too blasé, but still, there's something missing on the card, and I need to see it. And because I don't see it, there's nothing for me to appreciate about the card. The background overpowers the image. There's nothing on the card that screams MLB. It fails on every single level, which is unfortunate. And that's why, to me, it is the worst baseball rookie card design of 1995. Do let me know in the comments below how you would shift this order around. I'm be interested to see that, and then I'll get the image poll started tomorrow, so that'll be fun to see. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Thank you very much for watching.